introduce yourself, who you're with, and you're recognized, Representative Cavenaugh.
Courtney Traylor, Chief of Staff at Shared Services.
Amanda Land, Deputy Director of Employee Benefits Division.
Thank y'all for being here. So I just want to make sure I understand this contract. This contract, over the life of it, looks for about 3 years. It's going to be $2.1 million. And that $2.1 million is going to be used to help state employees figure out the best way to repay their student loans.
So, you want to go start? This contract was, we were trying to find ways, started looking at this about a year ago to find ways to attract and retain good state employees. And this was a benefit that we've heard from a lot of employees is hard to maneuver. You can apply for it, but then there's a lot of follow-up work. And we just kept hearing how difficult it was. We heard about a vendor that could help with this, that helped state employees navigate through that process. We did a few test cases with them, and they did indeed help pay. It paid off for some of our state employees that did a test case. We then did an RFP to find out what all vendors were out there that could offer this service, and that's how we selected the current vendor that we have on the contract today.
May I add to that as well?
Yes.
This is a program that was enacted by President George W. Bush back in 2007. It's a federal program. It's using all federal funds. So what state employees do is they apply to this federal program. They submit it on federal forms and what have you, as long as they're involved in public service, whether that be a federal job, a state job, or a qualifying nonprofit job. And they make 120 qualifying payments, meaning you make the full payment that you're required to make and you make it on time, and 120 adds up to approximately 10 years for most. You are eligible to have the balance that is remaining on your loans forgiven. So it is a very complicated process just to read and understand whether or not you're even eligible for it. So this contractor would assist as essentially an advisor to help look at the data of your student loans, look at your service. Sometimes people have multiple employers that they've been with who might qualify for this, and just make sure that you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's so you can take advantage of that program.
Well, I appreciate all that, but the working citizens of the state of Arkansas aren't getting any help trying to figure out how they can get their student loans repaid except making the payments. And we're spending $2.1 million of money for a program for someone to figure out the best way to pay their student loans or get through a federal program something they qualify for. The federal government has ways that they can communicate with them and they can call. It may be difficult. I'm not saying it's not. But I'm saying we're going to spend $2.1 million for a contract like this when the rest of the citizens of the state of Arkansas don't get that benefit. And if I'm not mistaken, just in the last legislative session, we raised the salaries of the state employees $130 million. So we do appreciate our employees, and we do provide incentive to have good employees. We've gone to a merit pay so that we can attract and qualify quality employees that will stay with the state. But here we want to spend an additional $2.1 million for someone to figure out if they owe a student loan or not. The bottom line, that's what this contract does. Yes or no?
Yes, but
okay, thank you.
Okay.
With that, I have any questions. I have a motion at the proper time.
All right. Thank you, Representative Cavenaugh.